My name's Dave Semmelink. I own and operate Lentelus Farms alongside my dad. We run a mixed livestock, vegetable, grain and hay farm. We raise cattle, we raise pigs, we raise chicken, we raise turkey, we raise lamb. Our cows and our lambs are 100% grass-fed. So we grow all of our own hay as well and haylage for them. Most of the land that I farm is in a very sensitive ecosystem. We are on estuary land. This all goes out into where basically the puntledge meets the ocean here. It's kind of amazing like that I have a chance to protect that stream and to do my little part on creating a slightly better environment for salmon spawning in the puntledge. I studied natural resources conservation management at UBC, and that was basically an eye-opener to the conservation challenges in British Columbia in the Pacific Northwest. After my degree, I was like the thing I can do the most for the environment or for anything would be to farm and to do it well and sustainably, and put my knowledge from school and from growing up farming into an operation where I can do something that makes me just feel good and works. I lease this land from Ducks Unlimited, which is one of the largest conservation organizations in North America. And this specific farm they bought for trumpeter swan habitat. So we grow cover crops for them in the winter that brings them in and gives them a food source. And we lease nearly 200 acres now in the Comox Valley and in Kelowna. I lease all of that for less than the mortgage payment on a little 5-acre parcel out here. So it gives accessibility to land for new farmers, for young farmers, for people that aren't inheriting farms.
You sound more hopeful for young farmers.
Definitely. There's resources out there to help one. There's the Ministry of Agriculture is there to support you in environmental farm planning. They'll help you with management plans. And then once you're in, you're in. Okay, I'm going to check the Ministry of Agriculture's website for funding opportunities. You never know when they're going to come up, and when they come up, you just need to be ready to go for them. My late brother, he was building a program for the Ministry of Agriculture. It's basically funding for new farmers, and it was a funding source for them to basically buy any capital infrastructure that they wanted. We applied for funding through the Environmental Farm Plan, which is funded by the Ministry of Agriculture, and we fenced in 2 of our farms now where we graze our cattle and our sheep, essentially just to keep those channels open for fish spawning and just making sure we don't have nutrient runoff. Our strategy for raising livestock is having a pasture-based system first, and then secondly is rotational grazing. So we try and move our animals quickly over the fields to replicate a natural system like wildebeest on the Serengeti or something like that. That's kind of the idea. They keep moving, they're moving from predators, but the electric fence is our predator essentially. So during the summer we will move our cattle every single day onto fresh grass, and that way they'll build soil instead of degrading soil. They're going to just eat the tops off of the grass, so the grass has a chance to bounce back really quickly, and that's just turning sunlight, water back into grass, back into food. So we mob graze them in the spring on our grain fields and on our vegetable fields to beat down the cover crop, turn that cover crop into nutrients again. They fertilize the fields for us, and they do a whole tillage operation for us, so we don't have to burn diesel, 1, and then 2, we don't have to disturb soil. It basically takes a massive tillage step, probably the most degrading tillage step out of a tillage program in an organic system. So we don't have to use a moldboard plow to invert the soil, mix it up, destroy soil structure, destroy your microbiome in the soil, because we use cattle. Corn-fed animal, for instance, is going to use a ton more water compared to our naturally grazed animals that they're going out on fields that basically our only input is sunlight and rain, and that's it. That's what we use to turn into delicious, tasty grass-fed beef. And then we're able to mix in our other animals into our rotation. So every animal has its place on the farm, and it allows us to raise more animals on a smaller amount of land with less land degradation. We think about that before we add another animal, is how is that going to fit into the rotation? How is it going to benefit everything as a whole? Because the whole idea is to do like a full system farming, from growing our own feed to raising our own piglets. 0 mile diet really for the piggies. We're able to grow probably at this point nearly 90% of our own feed for the pigs. And chicken has become a really important part of our meat operation, just because it's one of the most efficient converters of feed. So they're able to turn basically 2 pounds of feed into 1 pound of meat, which is phenomenal. And they also do that in 8 weeks. And they produce phenomenal manure, which makes excellent compost. And then during the summer, we rotationally graze them as well, and they'll get moved on the grass all over the place. And we usually put them onto a cover crop where we're going to grow vegetables in the future. So we'll really hammer it with their manure as they work through the cover crop, turning cover crop into fertility for us. Regenerative agriculture is basically, the idea is to leave the land slightly better than you found it. Looking at your systems and seeing what you can do in your area. Maybe you have a small market garden, you've got a 2-acre operation. Maybe add in broilers to that operation. So having your meat chickens as part of your 2-acre rotation could work really well. You could have, a 1/4 acre a year or something set off to raise chickens in and build a little bit of soil in that area. It's definitely, on any scale, it's replicable. And we do too much. Like, we're crazy. Like, the fact that we do vegetables, we do every single animal out there. We grow grain, we grow hay, we mill grain, we bake bread. Like, we literally just do way too much. Like, you have to be certifiably nuts to do this.